Hi guys, it's Ruthie and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be doing some Subnautica fan art. Now if you don't know what Subnautica is, it is actually a video game that you can play for Xbox, PlayStation, and stuff like that. I have been playing it recently. It's been one of my favorite things to play. I don't often play on the Xbox. It's more my brother's thing. But whenever I do, this has been one of my favorite things to play, other than Minecraft. But yeah, so today I was wanting to recreate one of the posters that you can find in the game. And this is actually my favorite poster in there. So yeah, I thought it'd be really fun to do. So what I first did was I drew it in my sketchbook. And I wasn't really planning on coloring it or anything until I was finished with it and actually really liked how it turned out. So I took some tracing paper and traced it, and then I just took a soft lead graphite pencil and then colored on the back of the tracing paper to create a little transfer paper, I guess you would call it, for my Bristol paper. So I went ahead and cut this to the size that was in my sketchbook because I really like the size of it, and it'd just be easier instead of having to resize and everything. So I did that, and then I took it's a dotting tool that I usually use for clay, but you can use like a pencil without, like with a really dull lead or something like that, just so that you can trace onto. So then I took my kneaded eraser and then I lightly erased the transfer that I did, just because it was a little bit of a larger lining than I was wanting, and I just wanted to be able to have like just the basic template of the sketch, if that makes sense. So then I just took my pencil and then kind of sketched it out again to get it ready for some line art. I didn't actually draw the little helmet that goes around the cat's head in the transfer. I did do it on the sketch, but it wasn't quite the way I wanted it to look, if that makes any sense. So I did take a roll of tape that was actually the perfect size for it, and then I just arranged it so that it would go, it would start at that one point and then at the other point where I was wanting it to. If that made any sense at all. But yeah, that's basically what I did. So I just kind of traced around the circle, and so it would meet at a certain point I wanted. So after I completed drawing the cat, I went on to the background stripes. These are not fun to draw at all. They were very difficult, especially because they each had a specific angle. There wasn't really one exactly alike, so I ended up grabbing out my ruler, which I did not do on the sketch, and it did make it easier, but it was still this was very difficult to do. I ended up redoing a couple of them, but I think they turned out pretty good in the end, and I think it looks really, really cute. Next was line art. Line art actually makes me really nervous. This didn't for some reason. I don't know if I was just really comfortable. I'd been doing this for a little while now, like this particular drawing. So I didn't just I don't know. I felt more relaxed with this one, and especially since it was a really thin line art, I think that might have helped, and it had these sketchy bits. I don't know. It was something that was really simple, and I really liked how it turned out. So most line art pieces that I do, I really don't like. But yeah, I don't know. Also, the Prismacolor ones don't smudge as much as my microns do on this paper. I've noticed that these take a lot less time to dry than the micron ones, especially if you have a clump of, not really a clump, but a really large colored in section. It doesn't take as long to dry. It still smudges a little bit, but yeah, they seem to work much better than the microns. So this next step is coloring. I actually had pretty good color matches for what the poster actually looks like in the game, but I don't know if my markers are getting old or what. I mean, they are pretty old. They're a couple years old, but they seem to really be not smudging. What's the word I'm looking for? But they're not laying flat. I don't know if that makes any sense. For some reason I can't think of the word. Streaky. There we go. they look very streaky and not as smooth as I'm wanting them to be. I do think that's part of the master markers, and it could be some of the paper that I'm using. I don't know, but it just doesn't seem to work quite like it used to. I don't know. So I colored in the eyes. I actually really like the face. I think it turned out really cute. That was something I was worried about whenever doing the sketch, because sometimes you have to, like, whenever you're recreating something cute, it doesn't always work the same for me. I don't know. It just looks a little bit different. So for the background of this poster, it has like this light blue gradient to white, and I really wasn't sure what to do for this until I thought about my watercolors. Now, I did use the watercolors on the Bristol paper. It didn't turn out bad. It definitely did buckle, so the paper is not completely flat, but I don't know, I just really wasn't sure what to do because I didn't have a marker light enough, and I wasn't sure how I would blend it to white, and it was just something I wasn't quite sure how to do, and I don't think I could have done it in any other way that I know of. I don't know, I think possibly if I had a light enough marker and a colorless blender maybe, I'm not sure, but this was the best thing that I could think of, and actually didn't turn out terrible. The paper did buckle, and like some of the fibers started coming up. You can actually kind of see that here in the footage, but yeah, it didn't turn out terrible. So then I grabbed some markers for the stripes. This was also something kind of difficult because I just don't think I had the right color matches for the specific stripes, if that makes sense. I don't know. The background was the hardest part for me during this entire thing, and I don't know. It's not my favorite. I did have to like kind of change it up a little bit because the bottom stripes would have been more of a light blue, and they kind of end up being a little bit more of a light purple, which isn't terrible. I don't hate it, but I would have preferred it to be a little bit more of a light blue so that it kind of was cohesive with the rest of the drawing. And then on the bottom of the poster, there's the words "keep calm." Lettering is not my strong suit. I don't know why, but like I struggle with keeping my lines straight, especially with this. I don't know why. It's just something that I've kind of always struggled with. I've tried calligraphy. I'm not the best at it. But I don't think this turned out too bad. I actually really like how it looks, and I've got this poster on, I guess it's like not a poster, but like this illustration on my bulletin board above my desk, and I actually really like the end result of it. And then the final step was like adding these highlights to the helmet just to like make it look like it was actually there, because you couldn't see the line once I had gone over with markers and watercolors really, so I wanted it to look like it had like the highlight on it, and I was actually not quite sure how I wanted to do this at first, and then again thought about watercolors and adding the white on top. It wasn't as opaque as I was wanting. I think I probably could have used a gouache and that would have worked better, but yeah. And then I took my Posca pen and then added that on top for the little highlights. I really love how this illustration turned out. It was one of my favorite things to work on. So yeah, I think that is pretty much it for today's video. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm not sure when you guys are going to see this. Hopefully it won't be too much longer. We're having a few computer problems. So if you're wondering why I was away for so long, the computer that I had been using completely was just having trouble, and then we were trying to get it fixed and it just wasn't doing what we were wanting it to do. So yeah, it's gonna be a couple more, hopefully not weeks, but it's definitely gonna be a couple more days until that's completely fixed. So yeah, and thank you guys so much for 300 subscribers. That is crazy to me. I can't believe there are so many people who want to watch my videos. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching again, and I will see you in my next one.